Welcome to Spark Sessions, where we ignite the heart back into business. Born in Australia, Karen Charrett now calls San Diego, California home. She moved into the travel industry in 2022 and has been supporting clients' travel planning since that time. Providing a concierge level customized experience is what Karen's service is all about. I can't wait for you to meet this travel guru. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Hi, Shari. Lovely to meet you.
So good to meet you and have you here. You know, as someone who travels quite often, I have been, which I'm sure we're going to get into the predicament of booking a lot of travel online and running into some challenges. So I'm excited for this conversation and really about, like I said, bringing the heart back into business. So as we dive in, can you share with me what exactly it says you're a travel advisor? What does a travel advisor do?
Yeah, so I think there's a bit of misconception out there these days actually about what a travel advisor does, because most people have been used to using a travel agent. And in 2018, the American Society of Travel Advisors changed the name to advisors because they want us to be seen as trusted advisors rather than just someone that books travel, because we do more than just book travel. Sure, that's a part of what we do, but a big piece now is all about you knowing that I've got your back from the minute we start talking about your trip planning to the moment you come home. I'm going to be there with you all the way to support you no matter what happens. I do all the research and I have a lot of partnerships with travel industry and tour operators, you name it. You know, I've got connections now in any country in the world. And so no matter where you want to go, there's always knowledge and information I can tap into. I've done certifications and trainings on specific products. So a lot of that knowledge and all of that information that I have comes with me when we do your travel planning. So it's more than just booking a trip.
I love that. And as you said, you know, I'm with you every step of the way. Like literally my body just exhaled because I know as someone who travels that there's a lot of pressure and there's just so much stress with like making sure that you get everywhere. And so like, as you said that, I was like, oh man, it's like having a little, like a genie with you almost.
Absolutely. We are that. And it's those times too when things might go wrong and not as planned. And rather than you stressing about it, we're there to be able to say, hey, just let's know what's going on, or being ahead of the game with you. So if the weather changes and there's a lot of things happening that we become aware of, then I can say, hey, we've got a problem. I'm making other arrangements for you, so that I'm actually ahead of the game rather than, you getting somewhere and then finding it's an awful mess, as an example, so yeah.
Amazing. So basically you help people create the vacation or what it is that they're doing beforehand. Talk to me a little bit about what you actually do.
The process, yeah. So the process is interesting from an advisor's perspective, because what I do is I'm going to talk to you and say, Shari, what's going to make a perfect vacation for you? What is it? What sort of experiences do you want to have? What sort of things do you want to enjoy? What actually would ruin a vacation for you? And that's just as important as anything, right? Prime example is if I have a client recently who lives on the 19th floor of an apartment building. Now you can imagine that person in their apartment has the view of the city that they live in, right? So they're used to a vision and a view from wherever they are. Now, if they went and booked a hotel room, sight unseen, unaware of what's going on, and finds that it's a shoebox in the back of the property, that's not going to be a great experience for them, right? And I had this happen with such a client who does live on the 19th floor of an apartment building, and his travel partner lives on a property, a home, with lots of land around it. So she too is used to having a view. Every property they stayed at, they went away for 8 weeks, 5 different countries. Every property they stayed at had a view, because that's what I was able to do to get my suppliers to help me by giving them the bio and saying, this is the world that this client lives in normally. Give me the rooms that are actually going to match that client's way of living, that they don't feel like they're then caught in a shoebox. Whereas you go online and you book that room, you got no clue. You've really got no clue what it's like, right? So it's those little things that make the difference between you having a brilliant vacation and not. So I ask you all those questions. And then what I do is I then build out what I call a biography. And I send that to my supplier partners. It'll be in a destination that I've never been before. It doesn't matter, because I've got a supplier on the ground in that destination that lives there, works there, knows it inside and out. They then build an itinerary to match the information that I've provided them. And I've had it happen time and time again where the proposal comes back and the clients just go, wow, because it's hitting all of the boxes of what's going to make your perfect vacation. You didn't need to even go think about it. You didn't need to do any research. You didn't need to do any of that. Just by us having a conversation and the information I've gathered, bingo, there's your perfect vacation view. My suppliers then come back with that for you with options. Doesn't mean that it's locked in. You can make changes to it, do the things that you want to do, add in extra things if you've done small research. And then basically you have your vacation package, and then you pay a deposit, you pay a final payment, and your vacation's locked in. But it's everything. So we're talking about picking you up and taking you to the airport, you having your flights, you getting picked up at the other end to be transferred to your hotel in the new destination that you're going to. It might be train travel. It could be that you're going on a tour. It might be that you're going on a cruise. So we're taking you to the cruise port to pick up the ship, go on the ship. I'm giving you all the information about what the cruise is about, the different things that are going to happen, how to make sure you get your meals locked in, travel to different restaurants that you might want to visit, entertainment, all of those sorts of things. And then following along with you, giving you the tips, do you need visas? Do you need any special information or any special certificates for things that you're traveling with? All of those little pieces. That's why it's a concierge service. That means that end to end, you just pack your bag, pick up your passport, and you're ready to go.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, as I'm listening to all you're doing, I'm like, I'm exhausted before I've even taken the vacation. But that's what that has felt like for me as someone who has planned my own. And then you get there and you're just still hoping that everything's going to work out. And you're carrying that same exhaustion and stress. And having someone like you sounds like I wouldn't have to worry about any of that because, again, you have got our back from the beginning to end.
Yeah, and it's built for you. I think that's the other thing, right? If you don't like being in resorts where there's lots of people, great. Let's find you those quiet places where you can chill out, be in that wellness zone of just really relaxing, just enjoying being in nature or being by the beach or whatever it is that you want for your perfect vacation. But it's to take that stress away when you're on vacation as much as it is in the planning of it, right? So it's the whole total package.
Yeah. And I think you having that relationship with the suppliers is so important because, as someone who has researched my own places, like you can look at pictures all online and, even when you book something like forget a hotel, like an Airbnb or something like that, it could say what it is. And people who leave reviews, I have found they have different expectations than I do. And so to have someone trusted that knows that feels like such a relief and needed. This sounds like a silly question, but why use you when we can all book, travel online? It feels like we just kind of explained that, but
yeah, but no, I mean, it is one of those things. I think these days, don't we all, we're so used to technology. We use technology every day. We think it's the simplest and easiest way of going about things. And what I've found from being in the industry, it's far from it. You can get caught so many times with things that aren't what they seem, just exactly like you've spoken about. Or even like that stress of simple things like having connecting flights from a domestic flight to an international flight, or layover times when you're going to Europe, as an example, from the United States, and not understanding that 3 hours really isn't enough of time to get you from terminal A to terminal B to check in for your next connecting flight if you've come from inside the country, to go somewhere else. Things like that. And, that's why we're here. As I said right from the start, we've got your back. I've got your back all the way from the moment we start planning this right till the end of it. I had a client who got on their trip, and then one of the couple fell and ended up with a fractured skull. So it put a stop on the plan and everything that had been planned and booked. But rather than that client stressed and concerned about what to do, what not to do, they were concerned about getting their travel partner well and checked out and made sure that they could, making the decision, I guess, whether they continued the trip or not. One phone call to me, and all of a sudden, the rest of the trip was cancelled, rebooked, reorganized, extra accommodation. No, everything they needed was taken care of behind the scene. That doesn't happen if you've booked your own trip, right? You then have to have that stress as well as whatever's gone wrong. Like, you've got to deal with it all. Whereas when you trust that I'm here as your advisor and backing you up, I'm going to take care of all of that.
I'm ready to hire you already. Can you tell me really briefly, I imagine there's fees involved in this. Could you just share really briefly why you charge fees?
Yeah. So it's an interesting dilemma, I guess, these days, because people see deals online and they then say, well, why would I pay a travel advisor when I can get this cheap online? I think it comes down to, I'm a professional. I'm a professional travel advisor. I've done a lot of training and knowledge, becoming aware of different areas and specific training on specific products. So I am a professional. You're using me just like you would use a plumber or an electrician or a lawyer. I'm a professional that is providing a service to you. And so I do charge a concierge fee, and that's my fee up front. That's to do all this planning work and take all of this stress off your plate. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. People might be aware, and they'll say, "Oh, but you get paid commission." Well, yes, but the commission is from the suppliers. That's not about us having a relationship, and you using my professional services. So I do charge a fee because my service is worth it to take away all of your stress and everything that goes on that you no longer have to worry about. Like I said, you wouldn't not pay a plumber to come and fix something that needs fixing in terms of the waterworks in your home. Absolutely. You would not pay an electrician to do what needs to be done, from that perspective. Well, I'm that person for you in the travel industry.
Amazing. And you are well worth it. Tell everybody, Karen, how they can connect with you and plan their next vacation with the genie of travel.
Sure, absolutely. So my website is relaxedtravelescapes.com. You'll find me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and also on Pinterest. So just search for Relaxed Travel Escapes on all of those platforms, and you'll find my pictures there. So you'll be able to pick up my face now that you've seen me. And best way to connect with me for sure. And please reach out.
Thank you so much, Karen. Look forward to working with you on my next vacation.
I look forward to it too, Shari. Thank you.
Thank you.